But going back to that story that you were saying, I went to an event. It was a Get Motivated event. And I know you talk about, let's get motivated.
Let's get motivated. So that's what I'm saying.
There's a company out there called Get Motivated Seminars, and they travel the United States. They do on tour, and Les Brown was on that tour. So I went to that event with my wife, and I had met the host of the show. And this story is in the book. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but because if you like it, you need to get the book.
Don't let your story become your standard plug.
Yeah. So I met the host of the event, and he came up to me. We had a couple of, we exchanged some words, and my wife said, "You should give him your package." And I said, "Nah, I'm not going to give him the package. He's just a host." Like I minimized his position in my own head. The same things that people have done to me, which was minimize my abilities.
All right, now
because of my condition. Here I was doing the same thing with another guy, which just shows how human we are, right? And so I just kind of brushed him off like, he's just a host. I'm not going to spend too much time with him. But my wife, the brilliant woman that she is, she said, "Babe, don't you know that he goes backstage with all the other millionaire speakers that he can give your information to?" And I was like, well, duh, ding, a light bulb went over my head. But by that time, this guy had already left. Like, we already finished talking and he left. And I was like, oh man, I felt like I missed my opportunity. Take advantage of every opportunity. Keep your eyes open for opportunities because they're all around us, right? This guy was the host. He was an opportunity, but I didn't see it. I took him as just a host and brushed him off. But this guy was my key in. This guy was my key in. So anyhow, he wound up walking back, right? Because he was going to the restroom. So he wound up walking back from the restroom. And I said to myself, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity and approach him again.
That's awesome.
So I wound up giving him the package. Long story short, I gave him the package. He took the package backstage, gave it to the CEO of Get Motivated Seminars. And then he winds up coming back to me like a few minutes later saying, hey, I gave this package to the CEO. He actually recognized you in the audience and wants to know if you can stay after the event because he wants to meet you. I was blown away because this was my first official event that I've attended, and I decided to step outside of my comfort zone and come to an event like this. And so for this to be my first event and this amazing opportunity to take place, I was like blown away. So the CEO of the company, he says, so I hear that you're an up and coming speaker. And I said, yeah. And he said, are you going to be available next week? Because we're actually on tour and we're going to be at the West Palm Beach Convention Center in West Palm Beach, Florida. So I said, yeah, absolutely. I live here in Broward. I'll be around. He said, well, if you show up, I'll give you 10 minutes to show me what you got.
My goodness, man.
And that right there was the beginning of Jose Inspires.
All off of, now we're going to stop this. Shout out to the wives out there. All off of one, listening to wife. And then the second thing is that when you're walking and when you're living in your purpose, opportunities will come in order to give you a shot.
I like to say when you're in alignment with your assignment.
When you're in alignment with your assignment.
Yeah.
And actually, if I'm not mistaken, that is in the book as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to take some time because I can't help but sit here and I'm seeing pink everywhere. What is going on with all this pink?
So that says another year of fabulous.
Okay.
Right? And what I do is to honor my wife. Yeah. My wife and I have been married for 11 years.
Wow.
Right? We've been together longer than that, obviously. But I like to honor my wife. And for the last 5 years, what I've been doing is her birthday is on August 18th.
Okay.
Right? So for the last 5 years, I've been doing 18 days of surprises. So we're in August now, right? Her birthday was just this past Saturday. And every day leading up to her birthday, I'm surprising her with just a little something here and there. You know, doesn't have to be crazy expensive, just little trinkets, stuff that I know she likes, and stuff that I think she would like. And every day I just surprise her and honor her with something that she can enjoy. Because at the end of the day, you know, she loves me unconditionally. She, this is a question that a lot of people ask us as well. It's like, she met me in a wheelchair, and she fell in love with me in a wheelchair. And that's just the simple fact that we've been married I'm not talking about dating. We've been married for 11 years. I'm talking about every single day helping me get dressed in my bed and helping me get into this wheelchair, helping me in the shower, helping me in the bathroom, just helping me with whatever I need every single day for the last over 11 years, right? About 18 years.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. So the fact that she's stuck by my side and loves me unconditionally, like I'm telling you, like we have a great relationship, and it's because we stick to the foundation, right? Like we try to do all the things that we did when we first met, which is what a lot of marriages suffer from, right? As you get older and you get more complacent, you get more comfortable, you get more lax, and then you stop doing what you used to do, and you start arguing more, you start, bickering more, and that's where, breakups and all this other type of stuff starts to kick in. But this year, this was another year of fabulous, because she's just a fabulous woman.
I have a question. It's 18 days of surprises. Did you just start this, or is this?
I've been doing that for the last 5 years.
What?
Yeah, for the last 5 years. So for 5 years, I've been doing that 18 days of surprises.
Describe your wife in a couple of words. What's some of the words that you describe your wife as?
I would say amazing, incredible, very loving, very giving, very kind, genuine, funny, great personality. Should I continue?
Man, keep going. Ain't nothing wrong with bragging on the wifey, man. Go ahead.
Absolutely beautiful. She's just my heart. She's the crown on my head. A lot of times I'm an extrovert and she's an introvert. So when we go out, I'm the it guy, right? I'm the guy who's like the life of the party. I'm talking to everybody. I'm making people laugh. And when I get on stage, I get on stage and I have this energy that just clicks when I get on stage. And, I have this smile that I always carry, and she has a big part of that smile that I carry, because if it wasn't for her, you said not to get emotional, so I'm trying to maintain composure.
Man, hey, it is what it is.
But, it's just everything that we've been through, man. We've been through a lot of ups and downs, more ups than downs, I would say. But she's been there every step of the way, man. And just the fact that she does what she does for me, it's like 18 days, in my opinion, is not even enough, right? I honor my wife every single day. And especially when I go to speak at events, and that's one of the most powerful parts of my presentation, is I take a few moments at every event I go to honor my wife. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to even show up at these events. Like, people don't understand that this woman helps me get dressed in the bed. She bear hugs me to put me in this wheelchair. If she wasn't here to do that, I wouldn't be able to go to the events. I wouldn't be able to impact the lives that I'm impacting. And so I feel like I'm obligated to. And not only that I'm obligated to, but I'm honored to be able to, because I just love this woman so much and unconditionally, that I feel like if I'm not honoring her every single day and publicly,
right, that
I'm doing an injustice to our marriage relationship. And so a lot of people coin us as the power couple. And I'm cool with that, right? Because I think we are a power couple.
Yeah.
I think that we're a great example for other couples that are married, that go through struggles. And I just tell them straight up, like, listen, my wife and I, we go through the same struggles that every other marriage goes through. But then you throw in the wheelchair aspect of it, that's a whole nother dynamic that most other marriages don't have to deal with. So I'm like, look, if we go through the same struggles that you go through already, and we have to go through this additional issue, and we're still thriving.
11 years.
11 years. And I'm not talking about just surviving a marriage.
Yeah.
I'm talking about thriving.
Yes, sir.
We're thriving in our marriage. And the fact that we're able to do that is just a tremendous example for other people.
Man.
So
power couple. And then you have to say her name so everybody knows.
Her name is Andrea. You can also follow her on any social media platform at Mrs. Inspires. Any platform at Mrs. Inspires. She's doing amazing things in her own. One of the things that my wife fell in love with about me when we met, because even when when I scored her, right, I was always like, man, how the heck did I score this one? Right? And it was like surreal to me, like, yo, I got this beautiful woman in my life. She loves me like this, right? It was a whole mindset thing. But she she met me like this, and so she's developed her own mental resilience and her own mental toughness by watching me. But what I was gonna say was that most people will ask her what she saw in me. And what she tells people, and I love this part, is that she says that when most people meet my husband, they meet his disability. But when I met my husband, I met his different abilities. And not only that, I used to ask her, like, man, babe, like, even when she was my girl, like, it was official, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, I would ask her, like, what is it that what is it that you see in me? Like, what is it that attracts you to me? And she would always say that, you're a mental beast. You have a mindset that I've never seen before in any other male that's healthy. Like, not that I'm not healthy, but
right.
Like that's physically able and capable and to do their own thing. She was like, you even outshine those dudes. And so the fact that she recognized that from the onset was just incredible and mind-blowing to me, because I didn't even feel like I had the mindset at that time that she was talking about. But obviously she saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And just the fact that she's always there to encourage me, support me. She's like my biggest fan, my biggest supporter, my biggest cheerleader, my favorite cheerleader.
All right.
And just the fact that she's all of those things, man, it just makes our marriages that much incredible. We support each other like never before, like no one else will.
Right.
She supports me, I support her with whatever she's doing. There was a point where she actually went back to college while working a full-time job, while being a mom, while taking care of her husband who had a disability, and she went to college full-time and got her BA and graduated from Phoenix University. So that right there is a mental toughness in its own right? And so for her to be able to do that at a later stage in her life was just incredible to me, And of course she obviously tells people that I was like the one pushing her, like, 'cause she wanted to give up several times, papers at 2 o'clock in the morning that were due, and then she got to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's a tough, gig to do. But just me in her ear, like, babe, you're halfway through already. You're gonna give up now? Not on my watch. What can I help you with? You know what I mean? I'm taking the boys out and doing homework with them and taking them to their taekwondo lessons and all of that, and just I'm carrying most of the load so that she can finish her race.
I'm gonna brag on you a little bit. If you notice, Jose didn't skip a beat when you were talking about it. That's love, man.
Yeah.
That's love right there. I mean, I can skip a beat if I'm trying to motivate somebody. Sometimes I'm gathering up the words, but everything that you said just flowed, and it's not from a speaker, but it's from a husband that has a wife that loves him, and she, loves you. And with that, man, for y'all that want relationship advice, it's not from, no shade to them, but it's not from the Kardashians, it's not from so-and-so out there, it's from this couple right now. Name drop a little bit. Who are some of the other people that have really stood out to you that you've met?
People like Eric Thomas. I love Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
He actually, man, he motivated me to, through my motivational beginning, watching his TGIMs, Thank God It's Monday on YouTube, man, that guy is just amazing. So if you're watching this, if you get a chance to watch this, Eric Thomas, thank you, because you have been a tremendous part of my growth. I appreciate you. Actually, Eric Thomas's people were the ones who designed and created my website for me. So Eric Thomas, you have, there's another guy, Patrick Bet-David.
Yes, sir.
He's a huge valuetainment. I love him and the work that he's doing. And there's people like that are not that big, but I look up to as well, and they're like friends and mentors of mine. Cody Mannix, he's another dude. We're going to be doing some big things together in the near future. And you have Chris Cavallini, who's another big mentor of mine. He owns a meal prep company. Shout out Nutrition Solutions up in Tampa, Florida. They ship all over the United States, by the way. So I'm just plugging him because he's another good friend of mine that I know very personally, and he's helped my growth process as well. So shout out to Chris. And there's you actually, believe it or not, I know you look up to me, but I follow you too, and I just love your attitude. I love your personality, man. And this guy's a great dude. So, I know you're following him. If you're not following him and you see this on social media, you need to be following him, because if you're not motivated, he'll get you motivated for sure. And,
let's get motivated.
Yeah. And you know, there's some other people I can't really think of off the top of my head right now, but there's some great great speakers out there. You know, I just find that the industry right now is very saturated with a lot of speakers, and you never know who's real and who's not, right? And so that's why I like to. There's a lot of fluff out there. There's a lot of people that throw a lot of fluffy stuff in the air, and I like to come from a place of authenticity, transparency, and genuineness, realness. And a lot of times people get that from my message, from my story, from my presence and my presentation, because I feel that's lacking in the industry.
Right.
You have social media now that you can create a facade that you want to create. You can be somebody who you're not really, who's not really you, and eventually it'll catch up to you, right? So my whole thing is like, you know, be honest and be real up front, and you never have to worry about that stuff. So I just feel like I bring a different uniqueness to the industry. I feel like I bring a special energy and a special authenticity to the industry. So if you have any events that you're throwing, if you have a corporate company that you work at or that you own, or you're a part of the executive team, I would love to come in and do a training or a workshop or even a lunch and learn, and just help get your staff and employees motivated, but not only motivated, see, because you can lose motivation, right?
That's right.
Once the motivator is gone, the motivation is gone. And so I want to help get your people moving to action, right? Taking action, massive action. You know, because if I can do it like this in a chair, then your whole team can probably do it, and even more. And I want to help you get there. So if you're watching and you need somebody like me, you can contact me on my website at joseinspires.com.
You can see it right here.
That's right, right there. And I would love to come and spark a new fire in your organization or in your event.
From the events that you've spoken at, because you've spoken at quite a few, which one has stood out to you the most, or you've seen probably like you did, you've had the most impact with when you visited that crowd?
So I got invited to speak for a whole school district. There's two events, really.
Okay.
There's one that I got invited to speak for a whole school district in Mississippi. And in that event, I spoke like 6 different times at 6 different places. And I even spoke at a church over there. And so my wife and I went over there, and we did what we do, right? We went over there to motivate, inspire, encourage, and get these people moving and knowing and letting them know ultimately that you don't have to settle. Right, because a lot of these, this school was like in the inner city, and they have like a different type of mentality, right? So they wanted to bring me in to kind of change that mentality, change the culture, change the mindset, and say, hey, listen, no matter where you come from, no matter what you've been through, you can still become successful, right? And so at that event, when my wife and I were flying back home from Mississippi, we got 2 inboxes on our Instagram from 2 of the young students who were actually thinking about committing suicide.
Oh my!
That same day that I was there, and because I showed up, shared my story, and encouraged them and inspired them, those 2 kids decided not to take their lives. So
that's powerful.
That was my first encounter with really knowing that I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And that was a pivotal moment in my career, because I said, you know, it's not only about motivating people and inspiring them, but actually possibly saving somebody's life. Like, I'm talking about saving somebody. Yeah, that is deep. Saving somebody's life just by showing up and sharing what God has blessed you with, to let them know that you've been blessed with something too. I want to help you figure out what that is so that you can be successful as well.
See, there's a new saying that I heard that I really, really like. It says, not all superheroes look the same, and not all villains look the same. And in this case, you know, we see, you know, all these movies coming out with Thor and Iron Man and Superman, Justice League, all this kind of other stuff, and we have a view of what superheroes are. But like you said, you just saved somebody's life, so technically, you're a living superhero. I mean, you're around using the gift that you've been given, as some would say, the gift of gab and everything like that, but being able to break through, and none of that would have ever happened if you didn't break out of the point of I'm done. If you got locked in your mind that, oh, you know, I'm dispensable. You say, no, I'm indispensable.
That's right.
You know, I'm not gonna just look in my comfort zone. I'm gonna look on the outside of my comfort zone. I'm not gonna let my struggle become my standard. So, man, I mean, to me, you just made me my favorite superhero. Now I like Superman, but you may just be up there, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Man. So that was like one of the pivotal moments in my career that you know, that showed me like, man, you know, you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've always wanted to make an impact, you know, and I thought that I couldn't because of my situation, and here I am in my situation doing it.
Man,
you know?
that is awesome. Now,
and I'm doing it, yep.
And the biggest thing is that it's not I've done it, but I'm doing it, which means that there's a continuation from there.
Absolutely. There's always going to be a I'm doing it.
Yes, sir.
The only time that you say that you're done is when you're in a coffin.
Yep.
Because then you're really done.
Mm-hmm. So now, with as I will bring this to a close, the to be continued of Jose Inspires. We already have a book. We see that your website is popping. We see that you are going around. I know that you have an event that is coming up. What's next? What's next?
Man, I really don't know what's next because I don't know what the future holds, right? But I know that there's greatness coming in my future. There's more greatness coming in my future. So obviously I have events coming up. That's next. Next month is going to be a super busy month. October, I have a few things going on. November is going to be a great month for me again. And I'm just, you know, I'm working with some amazing people right now that are doing some amazing things. It's like, this is all like startup stuff. Mm-hmm. So I can't really talk about it, but it has the potential to be very huge. And I'm just excited that they picked me to be a part of it. So that's one of the big things that's next. So if you want to know what that is, stay tuned because that's going to be coming out either by the end of this year or the first quarter of next year.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Yeah.
Make sure you stay tuned.
And I'm working with some really good dudes. I want to give a shout out to my boy Cody Mannix and Joe Benjamin.
Okay.
They own a company called Better Life Productions, and they're an event planning company. They're going to be traveling the United States soon, and I'm a part of the team. They actually reached out to me to be a part of the team specifically because I did, the second event that I was going to tell you about, was with this guy named Cody and his company, Better Life Productions. But he had an event that he threw last month at the historic Tampa Theater in Tampa, Florida. Beautiful venue, amazing venue. And that was my second favorite event because the audience was just overly engaging.
Yeah.
And that really helps your presentation.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, the audience engagement is like pouring gas on you, right?
Yeah.
You just get bigger and better and more hotter, you know what I mean? And you just start flaming, right? So that audience was amazing. The response was absolutely amazing. I was able to make additional connections at that event. And that would be like my second event. But I did a big event there. It was amazing. Follow Cody Mannix and Better Life Productions. They're going to be doing some big things coming up. I'm going to be traveling to the United States with them because we're going to be hitting some major cities pretty soon. Okay. So stay tuned for that. And just follow us, man. You know, if you've been, when I was growing up, I didn't have anybody to motivate me.
Yeah.
Right? Like I had family and they try to make me feel better, but it's not the same, right? I didn't have like somebody that I looked up to that was like, yo, Jose, man, I know you're going through this thing, but yo, you can still be successful. You can still make it. You can still be whatever you want to be. You can still do it, and I'm going to help show you how. Yeah. Right? Anybody can say anything to you, but talk is cheap, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to be that person for you if you're watching and you're struggling or you're going through a situation or circumstance, whatever it is. That book says, don't let your struggle become your standard. There's no way to define a struggle. A struggle is, everybody goes through it, right? Everybody's going to have a struggle, whether it's financial, spiritual, relational, emotional, whatever it is. I want to help you. I want to do two things. Not only do I want to help motivate you and inspire you to take action, but I want to help show you how.
Yes.
You see, a lot of times, and this is what I'm talking about, when you go to these events, you hear all these speakers talk all this great stuff, or you follow all these speakers and hear what they're saying, but the how is lacking. Right. Mm-hmm. People are spending money to find out how I can become successful, how, like, specifically.
The story.
It's not like, hey, listen, just wake up and work hard every day and you'll become successful. That's not practical,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, okay, I wake up and I work hard, but what do I need to do specifically? Like,
Right.
what are the steps I need to take? And in that book, in my book, I actually, at the end of every chapter, I give you practical action steps that you can take immediately, today, right now, to help you get to that next level. And there's also little QR codes that you can scan with your cell phone or your tablet device, and scan the QR code, and there's a little 1.5 to 2.5 minute video of me that'll pop up to motivate you to take action based off of the chapter that you just
In
read.
closing, a word of advice to leave with our audience. When they listen to this or they watch this, either on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, or if they're listening to a podcast, wherever they are, what's the one thing out of this whole talk that we've had, what's the one thing that you want them to leave with?
I would want you to leave with the idea that you don't stop until you win. Don't stop until you win. And that might sound cliche, but it's real. And I'm a testament of that, because I get up every morning and I'm going at it. I'm going at it. I have targets, I have goals, and sometimes I hit, sometimes I miss, but I stay consistent, right? Stay consistent. I have this thing that I do at the end of every event, and I have everybody stand up, raise their hands, and I say, I won't give up, I won't give in,
I'm gonna do it right now, so
and I
give it
won't
to me.
stop until I win.
I won't give up, I won't give in,
and I won't stop
I won't
until I
stop
win.
until I win.
That's right.
Let's go.
So don't stop until you win. Stay the course. Be consistent. Be intentional. Be strategic. And execute on your goals and your dreams, and you will eventually get there.
Man, that is awesome. Jose,
Thank
it was
you.
a pleasure. It
My
was a
pleasure.
pleasure.